The Capital Scholars Program taught me a lot about my personal professional development. It taught me a lot about where I want to be going after I graduate from the School of Politics and Global Studies.
This is such an interesting program because the people who come through it are high caliber people. They're very organized. They're very professional. Like, you're taking the best of the people that we have, and that's who you go to DC with.
And so we got the chance to work in the U.S. Capitol and pursue whatever internships we were able to get. So it was a wonderful opportunity. We all lived together and adventured, so that was cool.
The staff and faculty helped guide and mentor all of the Capital Scholars through their application process.
And we did a lot of things like professional development, talking about how we can get our resumes ready for the summer, our cover letters, talk to a lot of past Capital Scholars about their experience in the program, what they learned.
Specifically with applications, that's where they helped the most. They did a lot of interview practice with us. They looked over our cover letters and our resumes and made sure all the formatting was perfect. Like, literally went through it line by line with us to make sure that everything was exactly where it needed to be, and put us in the best position to get an internship in the Capitol that we could be in.
Being in the nation's capital, you really get an unparalleled experience of what it means to be involved in American government and politics.
DC is so wonderful is because it is the capital. It is really the highlight of so many different fields, and that's what I think the Capital Scholar Program allows you to really capitalize on, is that variety of experiences.
What I loved most about DC is that it is such a historic place.
We visited the Supreme Court, we visited the Capitol building, we visited a lot of Arizona state representatives and Congress members in their offices. We went to the Library of Congress.
The Library of Congress is this phenomenal building. It's unlike anything I've ever seen. There's mosaics and murals and everything on every part of the library. So walking into that, it was probably my second day in DC, really made the experience feel real and gave me a visual of what DC really is.
I think my favorite out of that would probably be the trips to the representatives' offices and talking to their staff members, because it gave a lot of insight as to how these people started in DC as interns, just like us, and how they worked their way up to how they are now. And you kind of learn that everybody has a different path of how they get there.
And we went and lived in DC for the summer semester, and we all interned at different locations. I was on Capitol Hill in Congressman Grijalva's office. We had some other participants that were in think tanks, some worked at some research universities.
So as interns, we spent time working in the administrative side of the organization. We worked on some policy, some development, and some communications.
I was in the Hart Senate office building the whole time I was working, so I was surrounded by senators all day. And I worked in like an office with like a desk and I worked with the people who were working there.
I really think that the Capital Scholars Program and the internship itself in DC kind of just amplified the work I was already involved with here at ASU.
Everywhere you go in DC, there's always a chance to network. Of course, with the Capital Scholars Program, we had our reception in the beginning of the summer, which connected us with a lot of alumni and alumni of both the school and of the Capital Scholars Program.
So networking in DC was really awesome because we got the opportunity to make such close connections with the alumni who were working all across government and non-government in DC. So that ability was really unparalleled by any other program, or if you just went to DC independently.
The coursework for the Capital Scholars Program mainly consisted of blog posts that we had to write every week.
It was very fulfilling, very reflective. So like a lot of the blog posts, they would ask you to reflect on things that you had learned and things that you want to improve on, and it like makes you think about how this is going to help you in life.
I am so glad I did the program. It definitely pushed me out of my comfort zone, but also really focused the direction that I want to take in my career. It opened so many new doors for me.
So all those opportunities were because I was part of the Capital Scholars Program, and it allowed me to really get the more holistic experience of DC, which was awesome.
Comfort and confidence. That's the biggest thing that I gained. I feel like I can do something with my major now, because normally people make fun of you when you say you're a political science major. They're like, what are you going to do with it? But I feel like there's so much that I could do with it, and I have so much experience now that I can bring to the table.